So let's talk about the one thing that businesses always seem to miss when they're launching AI, the training. This is, and I mean this, the absolute critical link. It's the difference between an AI that's just a frustrating money pit and one that's a true game-changing asset. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let me ask you a simple question. Imagine you hired a new person for your team. Would you just point them toward a customer on day one and, I don't know, just hope for the best? Of course not, right? You'd give them the playbook, the knowledge, the training they need to actually succeed. And yet, this is exactly what so many companies do with their AI. They just plug it in and expect magic to happen, totally forgetting that an AI, just like any new hire, needs to be taught the ropes before it can be even remotely effective. And the difference here is, well, it's night and day. An untrained AI, it's a liability. It makes customers angry, it creates more work for your team, and it just bleeds money. But a properly trained AI, that's an asset. It actually delights your customers, drives real revenue, and makes everyone's job easier. The transformation is just absolute. So what does an untrained AI actually do wrong? Well, you've probably seen it. It hallucinates. That means it literally just makes stuff up. It gives you incomplete answers or info that's totally out of date. And my personal favorite, it gives you those super vague, generic replies that are helpful to absolutely no one. It is an incredibly frustrating experience. Okay, so that's the problem. But the good news? There's a fix. And it isn't magic. It's a proven, systematic process, a 6-step transformation that turns that raw, kind of dumb AI into a brilliant agent that actually knows your business. And here's that roadmap. First, you gather up all your business knowledge. Then, you convert it into a language the AI can actually understand, and you carefully curate it to make sure it's accurate. Step 4, you sync all that knowledge into the AI's memory. And then, and this part is so important, you test it. You test it like crazy, first with real people, and then with automated simulations to make sure it's truly ready for prime time. Let's break this down. All right, let's start with phase 1, building the foundation. This is all about taking that absolute mess of scattered business info and turning it into a clean, organized brain that the AI can actually use. I mean, think about where all your company's knowledge actually lives. It's not in some neat little folder, is it? No, it's everywhere. You've got PDFs, Word docs, spreadsheets, emails, CRMs. It's a chaotic mess. And AI can't make sense of any of that on its own. So the key is to convert this chaos into what we call an AI-ready format. What we're doing here is cleaning up the raw text, breaking it into logical chunks, like paragraphs, and then adding labels or metadata to give it context. So it knows this is a product spec or this is our return policy. The AI doesn't just have the information, it understands the information. It really is the difference between handing someone a giant, disorganized pile of books versus giving them access to a perfectly curated digital library. Okay, so your AI has its library. It has the knowledge. But can you trust it? Can you trust it to give the right answer every single time? That brings us to part 2, which is maybe the most important phase of all, testing. This is how you build an AI that's genuinely reliable. And this really boils down to one simple, powerful idea. You have got to find the problems before your customers do. You need to catch the mistakes, the weird phrasing, the gaps in knowledge in a safe, controlled environment, not when a real customer is getting more and more frustrated on the other end. Let's look at a perfect example. Someone asks, "Can I return an item I bought on sale?" The untrained AI says, "Yes, you can return items within 30 days. Now, on the surface, that answer doesn't sound terrible, right? But it's a trap. It's dangerously incomplete, and it's setting that customer up for a huge disappointment down the road. But now, check this out. After training, the AI has been taught the specific company policy. It gives a perfect, nuanced answer. It knows the crucial exception for final sale items. This is the kind of specific, actually helpful response that builds trust and solves a real problem. Okay, so we've seen how the training makes the AI better, but what about the so what? What does this actually do for your bottom line? Let's talk about the return on investment, because honestly, the numbers here are pretty staggering. First off, mistakes? They just plummet. We're talking a 70 to 90% drop in hallucinations and just plain wrong answers. That means you get way more reliable interactions every single time. And guess what happens when your AI stops messing up? Your customers get way, way happier. We're seeing a 40 to 60% jump in customer satisfaction scores. For any business, that is a massive lift. And this has a huge impact on your team.
Because the AI is handling things correctly, you see a 50 to 80% reduction in calls that need to be escalated to a human agent. This frees up your people to focus on the really complex, high-value problems.
So you put all this together, and what do you get? You get a return on your AI investment 3 to 5 times faster. By doing the work up front, by doing the training, you get to skip all those months of painful trial and error and get straight to the good stuff. So it all comes back to that first question we asked. After seeing the process and the incredible results, you just have to ask yourself, is the AI you're building going to be an asset that actually drives your business forward, or is it going to be a liability that holds you back? The answer, pretty clearly, is all in the training.